How y'all doing? If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. First video of the new year. And not much is going to change, I don't think. I was contemplating running a year-long tally on spent and profit, so I might do that. It'd be kind of confusing later on in the year, but math would certainly be an issue at a point. I wouldn't be able to do it off the top of my head, but I think I might do that. Or maybe have a hidden running total. That would make a little more sense. But anyways, for this video, the first one, doesn't matter. We got 4 Monopolies and a vintage board game called The Game of Railroading. Monopolies I actually got really cheap. I went to a Goodwill I don't really ever go to. It's out of the way, but it was work related and I was nearby. And because I'm pretty much the only guy that does this as far as parts, I picked up 4 of the same game for really cheap. And Game of Railroading I've had for a bit. I did a video with a game Civilization, which is from the same company, and that sold a couple of days ago, and I still haven't even listed this one yet. So we're gonna have to figure out what this is all gonna go for. So let's just bust out these Monopolies real quick. Alright, so the 4 games we buy for parts. Monopoly, Sorry, Game of Life, and Clue. Monopolies, we want tokens, we want money, we want hotels and houses. So we got 2 of the same ones here. These are the modern sets. So they have modern money, and then they have the new configuration, which I sell as that. The older ones I do something different. I do different configurations with the tokens, and then the money is 2 different kinds of money. Hotels, houses, I just mix them up. It don't really matter to me. You can see how different, oh, this isn't even open, how different hotels and houses are. This is the modern version, or maybe, yeah, this was never even used. Okay, well, whatever. The houses are about maybe 60% of the size, same for the hotels. And then the money is the modern money, the 50 is the main difference. All right, so quick as anything, I'm going to get this all together. All right, so weirdly, the 2 modern sets were unused. In fact, the second modern set I opened, the money wasn't even open. No parts were open, just the box itself. So that actually makes that easy. The rest of them were giant messes, but I cleaned up the money here. I have almost enough hotels and houses for a full set on that, but not quite. Pieces wise, I have 2 modern token sets with the T-Rex and the Penguin. I have 1 set of a 10 count with money bag, which is a specific set. One of the other ones didn't have a money bag or a ship. It's actually an 11 count in that box, but I strategically take the guns out because those are hard to find. So what I do is I added a ship and I put a gun. So I have a classic 10 count, a money bag count, 2 sets of modern tokens, 4 sets of money. And that puts us there. So well into profit because I got those for cheap. And then we got this railroading game, which I know nothing about, but we're going to look into this and see where we're at after that. All right, so we got a vintage game that we're going to sell in the box. I don't do this often, but every once in a while, something comes across. Then I got to do that. I paid $2 for it. So this is Avalon Hill. They made a lot of old school strategy games. So, board games, we're looking for stuff that's playable, stuff that's collectible parts. This was, because it was never reproduced, if you played this, it was never made into a video game, it was never made again, as far as I know. So, if you played this growing up, and you want to play it again, you want to share it with somebody, you gotta buy it. So these can hold a lot of value. Can. Not every old game is going to. So, And this game is old. This is from 1969. So you're going to notice there's tape all over the front of this, all around. I am not going to remove that. Because at this point, if they tape that up the day they bought it, it's going to rip the entire box apart. So I put it in the listing that that's the way it is. And, take it or leave it kind of thing. But nobody's really buying it for the box, more than likely. There's kind of like a weird separation here that I don't care for because it looks like it pulls out like an old book. So we're going to cut that tape so we can look at what's inside of this. So this is an old style of board game. It's going to have cardboard pieces exclusively. And those pieces are called chits. And it's going to be like the whole board game. It's going to be just little cardboard squares. Okay, so pulls out like that. So the thing that's damaged is the actual like box. It's not bad. It's actually still whole, so I'm not sweating that too much. And then you turn it like that, and it was the different way of doing board games back then. Let's see what we got here. I've never heard of or played this game. So it definitely smells like a basement. Been sealed up for a long time. So we have these things that are gonna like hold up maybe like a privacy screen. I don't know if there's like machinations to this game, if you will. We have some cards and one chit. That's what I'm talking about. Like the whole game is just going to be these little like cardboard squares you're putting on a map. So I'm going to have to see if I can figure out how many of everything I'm supposed to have, which kind of is the tough part of this. Is you're not going to be able to find like a good visual intact one more than likely to go off of. So we have a book. I don't know if it's going to tell me everything. And games back then were really complicated. This is a pretty thick manual. The dispatcher manual. So you're running routes, advanced play. I'm guessing you're just trying to keep to schedules and get stuff from point A to point B and have it make the most sense, maybe be profitable, I would guess. So this is a book explaining things, and then the history of all the railroads. It's also like Wikipedia, I guess. I don't know. What it doesn't have is a list of parts. So hopefully there's something in here that'll help out. We have these sheets, timetables. Okay, instructions, movement of trains, train counters. But again, not telling me anything. I don't know how many of anything are supposed to be in here. Then we have these boards. So, try not to wreck this. I don't know how they go together. That sucks. So this one's broken. It got bent kind of funny and split. It's still like intact, but it's not whole, I would not say. So that's like a weird 4-panel board. And then this one's actually alright. Kind of alright. It actually kind of has the same problem as the other one. So we have 2 boards. We have these cards as well. We have these like little yellow chips. We're not gonna really know. There's a hole in the bag. Awesome. Look at another bag. Roll that. So if there is no master list, it's really hard to know if a game is complete. In that case, when I'm looking at stuff, because it's not like it's going to be one chip of one thing, it's generally going to be, you know, 10 of these, 15 of these, etc. What I do, if it looks good, if I look at comparative listings and they look okay, is I'll put something in the listing that says complete to my knowledge. And that kind of lets you know maybe I'm not an expert. In fact, the guy that bought the other old game that I picked up the same day messaged me to ask, like, what do you mean complete to your knowledge? And I explained, like, it looks complete, but if you're missing like one piece, I don't know. Now, I can't find information on these things. Yeah, these are like transfers or something. Unless you can find the sheet. So what I'm going to look for is the sheet unpunched online. And that will tell you how many of what. And then we have cards. Looks like a chance card, and these are numbered. Okay. So let me just quickly go through these and see if anything is obviously missing. All right, so the cards were 1 through 24. So we're going to look at listings now. Now here's a trick, because railroading corresponds to monopoly. So there are 833 listings. So this is some old school beginning of the internet shit you might not know. If you put a minus sign, it excludes monopoly. 26. That makes a lot more sense for a game this old. So we're looking for like new or unpunched. Something like this is what I'm looking for, that's going to show me what's in the box. So I have these boards. We have the timetables, dispatcher. This is something that I would consider covered under complete to my knowledge. This has nothing to do with the game. Talking about an advert for other games this company makes effectively. You have this sheet. Again, these things you mail out for whatever reason. Interesting. These are broken, or they're supposed to be broken. I don't know. I got full ones. I have this like cap thing. I don't have that. And these aren't laid out in a way I'm going to know what's what. This person may not have said it was complete or not. It doesn't say in here. So, people are talking about boxes, but you can see the pricing on this is pretty good. We're in the $60 range on some of these. 50, 60 bucks. That's why I picked it up for $2. So I'm going to look for one that says complete. This one is saying complete, and I don't know. Oh, okay. So mine's definitely not complete because I don't have these. These might not go to the game, actually. No, these are old matchbooks, and you can see they wrote on them with a marker. That's not part of the game. We've got blue and yellow, and they have blue and red. I don't think that matters. Or I'm sorry, I have green and yellow. Sometimes they do that. They'll switch up color schemes in a game. It doesn't really matter. All right. So that's what they're calling complete. That's one we just looked at. And the Silverton game. Not that I can get... Couldn't really get that out of there. It doesn't matter. But there's actually less of these for sale than you might originally think. We got another complete one here. That's all the mailer stuff. And this one is also red and blue. That's odd. I have green and yellow. So it might be a different version came out with a different color. I really don't know. It has the longer blue bars, like mine, but unlike the other one. See if there's any others. Oh crap, wrong game. I was supposed to say Unpunched was what I was looking for, but that's all of them. Okay, well, let's check our sell-through on this. 26 for sale. It's all off. It's so long ago I don't actually remember what the sell-through was on it. We have 8, but it's also including that Silverton game. But we got one here that went for 40 bucks. Is this one unpunched? It is. So, and this one has the green and yellow. Okay, cool. So with this photo, I can count my chits and make sure that I am complete. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, so after careful tabulation, I have the complete game. The only thing I cannot really count are these, but these are not important. I don't know how many you would need, but you could swap them in with something else. I mean, those are bingo chips. So, but I have every single chip. So now what we're going to do, I don't want to hang on to this, but I sourced it for $2. So I can absolutely be the cheapest guy and make a lot of money. So we're looking at 24 is the cheapest one sold. Complete 20, and mine is complete. So 24, we're going to see what the cheapest one for sale is right now. And it's looking like 24 will be very much the cheapest. What can I do here? Yeah, these are mostly 50. Now, I do have some issues with the box, etc., but it's not going to matter, quite frankly. So it's... let's see. 45... 44 is the cheapest for sale. Oh, yeah, 44. Oh, no, up here. But this one doesn't say complete. So look at that quick. And they may not know. Seems to have all the pieces. So he doesn't want to put complete because he doesn't want to get caught with something, but... So we're just going to be 28 bucks. So that's going to be 18 plus shipping. The shipping eats the fees on that. And there we go. Good pickup. And worst case scenario, the thing that makes this this kind of game a good pickup if you're just doing parts is I could actually send this in a letter and it will go through. When you get to like fatter parts like a hotel for Monopoly or a token, it won't, you can't mail it via regular mail, but this you could just slide into an envelope and a piece of paper, mail it out. That's whatever that costs now, like 68 cents or something, versus having to send a $4 package. So I could have parted this out worst case scenario at what they sell for. Somebody would absolutely buy a part for $3 to complete the game. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.